Hello, greetings. I had a lovely lesson with my good buddy John last night. We studied the bass guitar together, and this worked out really well. I said, let's review the chords of C major, or we'll play them as arpeggios. I think I might have put him on the spot and asked him, and he was having a little trouble remembering that, even though we've been through it a few times. So I thought it might be good to review it on my YouTube channel. So I did write out these arpeggios. Now I'm going to play them in a second, and I do have a free PDF or Guitar Pro file. If you would like, I would be glad to send it to you with no obligation. But the funny thing was, even though this seems very remedial and, a little stiff as an exercise, yes, I know, I'm aware of that. But then he mentioned a Paul Simon song, and we looked it up, and immediately it was the same kind of shapes. So I do stand firm on my belief that this is important. So I'm going to play them with the bass note on the A string, C major. I'm going to play up the neck, C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B minor 7, flat 5 to a C on the top. Let me just play it. I'll use my Guitar Pro file that I created on the spot at 55 beats a minute. These are quarter notes. Let the fun begin. Nice little C chord there. Root, third, fifth. So every one of those was like a triad, a root, third, fifth. C major is C, E, G. And then that's our one chord. Our two chord is minor, that's D minor. And a lot of times people will say, why does the two chord have to be minor? Well, it doesn't have to be, but to fit into the scale. If we played it major, we'd have an F sharp. And in a C major scale, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, there's no F sharp, even though you could insert it, in a chromatic run or something. If you can make F sharp sound good in C, go for it. But as a rule, we're gonna not really feature that note. So that's why this is minor instead of major. So let's do it again. So we just expect the D to be minor. But if somebody wants to make it major, we'll adjust to that on the fly quickly. Okay, that's our one, our two chord. Our three chord is also minor. 1, 2, 3, E. So here's E major. Nope, that's got that G sharp in it. There's no G sharp in C major as far as the scale. But again, if you want to stick one in there, make it work, I'm sure it could happen. But generally, we're going to make it minor. So the E minor will be E, G, B, G. And then we got our 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's F, and that's major. F, A, C, A. And then we've got our G, which is major. G, B, D, B. So that's our 5 chords. So we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then our 6 is A, and that is minor. For the same reasons, you know, if we did it major, we'd have a C sharp. And again, you could shoehorn in a C sharp into your C major business if you want to, but generally it's going to fit easier if we just flat that third. So that gives us A, C, E, C. And then the weird one is the 7 chord. This is where people sometimes get a little confused. I mean, most of this is reasonably simple, but the 7 chord I find interesting because the formula for that is a root, flatted third. I believe it's a flatted 5th. I forgot. I think so, yeah. Yes, a flatted 5th. And then a flatted 7, which we'll leave that out. So here's like a B, a D. If it was a D sharp, it'd be major. So the D sharp, again, doesn't fit in the key of C, but a D does. That's why it's minor. But if we did like a normal B minor triad, we have an F sharp in there. So we flat that F sharp and make it an F. So you get this kind of unusual sound, like it's a root, flatted third, flatted 5th. It just sounds kind of dreadful and it just sounds kind of weird, but it is correct if you play. And that really adds a lot of tension, doesn't it? There's the flatted 7, if you want to put that in there, the A. But we'll just do plenty good, just do 3 notes. Again, you're like, oh man, I don't think so, Brook. But those notes do fit. B, D, and F are all in the scale, so it's not like we're playing anything out of key. And this chord is just not that common, so that's why I like to kind of focus on it, because I just find it, you know, not so boring. It's kind of interesting. Again, it makes tension, but when you finally resolve it, oh, it sounds, you know, it kind of resolves that weirdness, which, of course, knowing me, I want to hang on that strange chord as long as possible just to drive the point home, you know, a little bit of chaos and drama there. So that's why that chord kind of is fun. So let me play them again with my fabulous software, and maybe you can play along. But really, you got to drill on this, so it's got to be second nature. You can't be sitting there thinking about it when the song is happening. You got to know this stuff if you really want to play the bass. If you really want to know it, you know. And if it was like, you know, E flat, you got to know it like. All right. Well, I got to go, but keep rocking, man.